In a previous interview, you talked about struggling throughout the season. So what changed and how are you able to turn the page so that the end of the season went a lot better?
Lexie Hull was on the brink of being forgotten at the start of the 2024 season. Drafted 6th overall in 2022, the former collegiate star struggled to find her place with the Indiana Fever under then-coach Christy Sides. The once promising national champion sat on the sidelines watching as others took her minutes. Fans questioned if she would ever live up to her potential.
So you have basketball in your genes. Your grandfather played basketball, your dad, and you have a twin sister who you played basketball with growing up. What was it like growing up in that family dynamic?
Well, we have a super competitive family, and having my dad play basketball collegiately, knew that basketball was going to be put in my hands at an early age, but my parents were, super excited about having us try every sport imaginable. So yeah, we grew up, my sister and I, playing a little bit of everything.
Then Caitlin Clark arrived, a superstar sensation whose electrifying play style lit up the WNBA. Clark didn't just change the Fever's offense. She changed everything from team chemistry to individual performances. Her presence created a ripple effect felt by everyone, especially Lexie.
I think it was important to get to know her off the court because I do think that, connections, getting to know people really play a part in the success of teams.
In her latest interview with She's for Sports, Lexie, the dunker, did not hold back what happened behind the scenes. How did Clark's leadership transform Hull's trajectory? And what does this story reveal about the rise of the Indiana Fever? Get ready to uncover the untold truth about redemption, camaraderie, and one of the most inspiring turnarounds in the WNBA.
She's been called the clutch player by WNBA fans, and she was drafted to the W in 2022 with the Indiana Fever in the first round as the 6th pick. I'm talking about professional basketball player Lexie Hull.
The 2024 season couldn't have started worse for Lexie Hull, who was drafted 6th overall in 2022. Lexie Hull was drafted 6th overall in 2022. She had been a key figure on Stanford's national championship team, yet just 2 years into her WNBA career, she found herself on the bench watching as others like KDL, Samuelson, and Christy Wallace played ahead of her.
And at the beginning of the season, my playing time definitely looked different than it did at the end. So trusting that, I was staying ready, putting in the work so that when I did get the minutes out on the court, that I could take full advantage of them. So I was just really proud of myself for trusting the process and staying the course.
But trusting the process was easier said than done for H. The mental adjustment from being a college star to fighting for a role in the WNBA was challenging.
The basketball part of the transition is really tough. Everybody out on the court was one of the best players on their college teams, definitely the best player likely from their high school team. So it's just this mishmash of the best basketball players, and then you're playing against people that have been there for years and years.
The Fever were also struggling as a team, opening the season with a dismal 1-win, 8-loss record. Fans were growing impatient, and the locker room felt the tension.
We're just sick that we had lost so many games, and also feeling like we were better than that.
Criticism of the team's rotations, defensive lapses, coaching, and lack of chemistry dominated headlines, leaving players to navigate a storm of doubt and frustration.
Part of my role is just getting to the open spots, and we have such a good offense that people find the open person. So to be that open person, you get excited. You get excited for the opportunity to shoot and score and be part of the momentum.
She poured herself into practice, refining her cutting and shooting to capitalize on any opportunity that might come her way. Hull also credited her teammates for keeping her inspired.
I mean, they make my job really easy, right? It's awesome. And it's really cool to see all of them just grow, not only from this year, but playing 3 years with Kelsey, 2 years with Aaliyah. They're so impressive.
Enter Caitlin Clark, the phenom whose arrival was nothing short of seismic for the Indiana Fever, known for her jaw-dropping highlights and fiery competitiveness. Clark stepped into a locker room desperate for a spark, and spark it she did. From the moment Clark joined the team, the atmosphere changed, fans were buzzing, ticket sales surged, and practices became electric.
I think it's really fun because they garner so much attention, obviously, from the other team's defense. So then it allows the other players, me included, to make cuts, make reads, and they're really good at finding, those openings and giving the ball up when it's needed and finding the better shot. So it's really fun, and I feel really lucky to get to play with them.
We play against guys in practice. Hull said, laughing, "If they're not winning, Caitlin's going to do everything she can to make sure they're competing." That energy wasn't just for show. It carried over into games where her ability to see plays unfold before they happened left defenders scrambling.
I mean, I definitely got passes and tried to finish when I wasn't expecting to get the ball. So like now it's like, okay, every cut I have, every cut I make, every fast break I run, like I have a real opportunity to get the ball, which definitely like took me a second. And I think it really just took one of those to really get my head around like, oh, she's all the way down at the other end of the floor and she could still make the pass to me down at the block at this end. So, I mean, it's been awesome.
Clark's ability to read defenses and deliver passes into tight windows transformed the Fever's offense suddenly. Players like Hull found themselves wide open in spaces they hadn't been before. "She's making passes I didn't think were possible," Hull added. The team began scoring more efficiently with Clark's presence drawing defenders and creating opportunities for her teammates.
It's so fun to be able to know that you're not just cutting to cut, knowing that you're cutting with the possibility of like actually making a really cool play. So that makes it that much more worthwhile.
Her competitive fire was contagious, pushing everyone to elevate their game. It wasn't long before players began feeding off her energy, believing they could compete with anyone in the league. Clark's arrival wasn't just about numbers or flashy plays. It was about culture. Hull described how Clark's maturity and leadership immediately resonated with the team.
She sees the game at a bigger scale, obviously with the platform that she's created for herself, and then that's transitioned to the game. It's huge. And I think like for me, especially as a point guard and as someone that's delivering a lot of the passes that lead to shots, like if I miss, she's definitely going to say like, you got the next one. Like I can count on her for keeping me like confident and positive. So yeah, I think that shows the player that she is and the leader she is as a point guard.
And step up they did. As the Fever began to gel, their offense transformed into a cohesive, dynamic force. The game becomes so much more fun when you know you're cutting with a real chance to make a play, Paul said for the Fever. Clark wasn't just a rookie. She was a game changer. But was her arrival enough to turn the season around? That answer would unfold in the weeks to come.
You know, she's a great person, but you have all these expectations put on her, and our team has put on her, and fans have put on her. So to see her kind of be so mature in that transition, it's been really awesome. And I'm just really proud to, have her on the team, and it's been exciting.
If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action.
The Indiana Fever had a history-making year. What was that like for you to be a part of that?
I'm really grateful for the opportunity to not only play in the WNBA, but to be on a team like the Indiana Fever. I've seen so much growth, not only on the team side, how we're performing on the court, but also the growth in fans. I mean, on the road, it felt like home games. We're playing in sold-out arenas that we have not played in the last 2 years before that. So, I mean, it's just really exciting.
The Fever's journey from chaos to chemistry didn't happen overnight. The turning point came not in a game, but in the work they put in during practices. Hull described intense scrimmages where Clark's competitiveness raised the stakes. If something wasn't working, Caitlin wasn't afraid to push us to fix it. Paul recalled her energy was contagious, and we knew we had to match it. Coaches began to notice the team's growing resilience. The Fever's practices were no longer just drills. They were battles, and from those battles, a team identity began to emerge. For Hull, the shift was personal as well as collective.
All of it comes down to trusting the process, and part of that process is making sure that the work's getting done.
Paul focused on perfecting her cuts and improving her shooting consistency. During the Olympic break, we had a full month of practice. She explained, "Seeing my percentages improve gave me the confidence I needed."
I think one thing that our coaches did during that break, I mean, we had a full month of practice pretty much during the Olympic break, and they would put up every day after practice our shooting percentages from 2s and 3s during drills, during scrimmages, during everything. And I think that helped me because, some people were probably like, it's so annoying, whatever, but I personally liked it.
By the time the second half of the season rolled around, Hull was no longer just a bench player. She was an integral part of the team's offense. Clark's arrival was instrumental in Hull's resurgence. Her ability to draw defenders created opportunities for Hull to thrive. Kelsey and Caitlin draw so much attention. Hull explained that opens up lanes for players like me to make cuts and find openings. Hull began to see the results of her hard work on the court. Her shooting percentages climbed, and she made key plays and crucial moments, helping the Fever gain momentum.
Numbers don't lie, unfortunately, and they're very drastic. My first 2 years, I was just so upset because I was putting in so much work, and my shooting percentages, I would granted get like 1 or 2 at the max threes a game. So it's hard to be super efficient when the pressure is really on for those couple shots. But the numbers don't lie, so it really allows you to look at improvements and really shoot for goals and keep yourself accountable.
As the Fever started winning games, the impact of their chemistry became undeniable. We never turned on each other. Hull shared that mindset of unity. That's what got us through those tough times. Fans took notice, packing arenas and flooding social media with support. The Fever, once a struggling team, had become playoff contenders. Hull spoke about the atmosphere in packed arenas. Playing in front of a sold-out crowd at home gave us energy we hadn't felt in years. It's hard to describe how much that means. Social media buzz grew as Fever fans rallied around the team, creating a renewed sense of pride in Indianapolis.
All of these people were supporting me this whole time, and I didn't know that they were supporting me until that moment. So you kind of forget that there's these people behind the scenes until they come out of the woodwork and say I've been following along this whole time. I'm so proud of you. And that just feels so good to know that there's, such a community behind everybody on our team, even when you don't hear it every day.
Their transformation wasn't just a comeback story. It was a statement, with Clark leading the charge and Hull finding her stride. The Fever didn't just make the playoffs. They were aiming to redefine what the team could achieve. The question now is how far they could go and how long this unity could hold in the face of mounting expectations.
You and Erica Wheeler started swapping outfits, so where did that idea come from?
Our styles are so drastically different. So we were just joking, I wonder what it would look like if you could pull it off. And the first outfit was something so outside of what I would have ever picked out of my closet. And they're that's not going to look good on me. I'm all right, let's try. So then I tried it on and everyone was you pull it off, you pull it off. So then it just became part of the pregame tradition. And it's a really fun, lighthearted way to just, get us in the mood to play.
The Fever's rise wasn't just felt on the court. It also transformed their lives off it for players like Lexie Hull. The newfound fame brought both excitement and unexpected challenges. Suddenly, a grocery store run in Indianapolis turned into many meet and greets.
Walking through the grocery store in Indianapolis and trying to just go get some groceries and someone fist bumps me and says, "Go Fever." That's just a really cool environment, and it shows the dedication of the fans and the fandom in the city. So that part's been awesome.
The pressure of being in the spotlight wasn't always lighthearted. With packed arenas and social media buzzing after every game, the Fever players found themselves navigating the double-edged sword of fame.
Pros, it's pretty obvious. We have people filling the stands. We have people cheering. We have people so excited for the individual success of the teams, but also the league as well as the players. So there's so many more eyes on the game.
Social media in particular proved to be a unique challenge for her and her teammates. The constant stream of feedback was both motivating and overwhelming.
It's hard. It's easy to say, don't read it, but everybody does a little bit. And I think it's having that support system to help keep you on track.
Yet even with this approach, the emotional toll of fame was real. Hull described moments of self-doubt, especially after tough losses. It's part of the job, but it's not easy. Despite these challenges, the Fever leaned on each other to stay grounded. The team built a culture of support and accountability, shielding one another from outside noise.
The biggest thing is finding people to kind of get you out of that cycle and get you to thinking about the positive things you did, even though a lot of times people online aren't talking about the positive things.
The locker room became a safe space where the focus was on growth and camaraderie rather than external pressures. Through it all, the Fever learned to embrace the spotlight without losing their identity. For Hull and her teammates, the season was about more than just basketball. It was about learning to thrive in a world where the stakes were higher than.
The fact that people are talking about the WNBA, people are tuning in to our games. That's what we want to hear, and that's only going to get us farther as we go on.
The Indiana Fever's journey this season was nothing short of extraordinary. From a rocky start to becoming one of the WNBA's most talked about teams, they've shown that resilience and teamwork can overcome even the toughest challenges. Hull's transformation was a testament to hard work and patience. Her ability to seize opportunities when they came was critical in helping the Fever turn their season around. But it was Clark's leadership on and off the court that provided the spark the team needed. She's not just a star player. She's a force that makes everyone around her better, the whole set of her teammates.
I think it's moving in a good direction. I think that it's because it's more competitive and there's more eyes on it. The pool of coaches that we can choose from, I think, will only get bigger and bigger. I think we're going to have great coaches coming up, and just excited to see, what those eras look like. Like, it's unpredictable at this point, but excited to, talk about it in a year from now.
The Fever's resurgence wasn't just about wins and losses. It was about redefining what this franchise stands for. Arenas' buzzing fan base and a team culture built on trust and accountability have put the Fever on a path to sustained success. As Hull put it, we're not just playing for ourselves, we're playing for something bigger. As the Fever look ahead to the next season, the sky's the limit with Clark leading the charge. Hull is playing at the top of her game, and with all-stars like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, the roster is full of potential. The Fever are no longer just contenders. They're a force to be reckoned with, but this is just the beginning. The Fever have shown they can overcome adversity and thrive. The question now is, can they take the next step and cement their place among the WNBA's elite? Only time will tell. Where do you think the Fever will end up next year? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.